creates longer engagement on these posts because people are hooked by that first image, and then they scroll through maybe one or two of the slides. And we've actually gotten actual clients from this as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the walkthrough, the most underrated, valuable marketing show in real estate history. I am Eric Simon, aka the Trend Jack Titan, aka the Viral Virtuoso, aka the Commander of Copywriting. What do you think of those?
I feel like we've used some of those before. We might be retreading like some of our usage.
Kristen, do you like those?
I mean, they sounded great to me.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, no need to call out the fact that, yes, sometimes we do have a couple repeaters. And of course, we are joined by our great co-host, Jason Cassity, aka the good, the Carlsbad, and the ugly.
Now we're just straying from God. We're getting further and further away from God here. I don't know about this.
Okay. AKA Commission Impossible Cassity, AKA the Marketing Menace.
Right. We like that one. We'll
okay.
Take that one.
Are you just coming up with these like off the top of your head? That's
impressive.
impressive.
Off the dome, exactly. And we are joined here by a first-time guest, a member of the Ken Pozek Group in Orlando, Kristen Pavlic, aka the Engagement Empress, aka the Posting Princess.
Okay, and the crowd goes
right,
wild.
Disney.
Wild,
Disney,
wild,
you
wild,
see that? I thought that was good. That one was actually off.
Oh, that's a double entendre. That was a really good one.
Yeah, because of the Disney content. I love it. Yeah, that's great.
Exactly. Okay, well, we have an amazing show for you today. We are going to cover the new just listed posts that are actually moving the needle and are taking over real estate. Kristen's posting strategy that includes listing hooks, DM automations, and hyperlocal content, and then just a super simple way to create low effort, high performing content. If you like the sound of that, throw this video a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to lead it off here with something that I kind of want to do with every guest, because last week we did a episode on how to create a custom GPT, and it's crushing. The feedback was amazing. Jason did a full walkthrough, no pun intended, of exactly how to create a custom GPT, and it showed that the audience is interested in this. So, Kristen, I'll lead it off with you as our guest. How do you use ChatGPT/AI in your business for content creation in real estate?
Yeah, I think ChatGPT is really beneficial to help you just kind of get your ideas in a little bit more of a structure, right? You still have to come. I actually use it kind of like as a dictation now. We're like friends. So I'm like, hey, ChatGPT, what's up? How's your Tuesday? And I just speak into it, and it kind of helps me take all of the ideas that I do have for storyboarding an idea, or if I'm stuck on like, what are some good hooks for this particular video that I'm trying to accomplish. Really helps with long form YouTube content as well, to really just kind of lay out things. It's still very ChatGPT about it, I guess, is the way that I would describe it. So you do have to cherry pick the good stuff, and then put in a lot more of your own flair and your own personality. But the more you use ChatGPT, I feel like the better it gets at your style and your voice. And so I use it a lot, honestly. I feel like I'm in ChatGPT once a day, if I'm totally honest with you. Whether that be for, like I said, long form YouTube content, or short form Instagram posts, or even like writing listing descriptions even is really helpful for some of the content we have. Email marketing as well. So, if I have a really good video that I want to be sending out to some of my database, like helping me construct an email that's going to be catchy and really, have them reading it. So there's just a lot of ways. I feel like I use it too much.
No, once a day is nothing at this. I got to a point where I started using it once a day. I'm using it once every 15 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm
once
in
a day. That's rookie numbers. You got to get those numbers up.
Exactly.
You're so right. I need to be in there at least 5 times a day. Good to know.
When you say you're using it for long form YouTube videos, are you helping it writing scripts for you? Like, are you saying this is the concept or the article I want to cover and then uploading it? Or what do you mean for long form videos?
Yeah, so one of the long form videos that we actually just recently did hasn't been posted yet. We're still working on it. It's in the editing team. And I have to start out by saying that my team is the brains behind all of this. I mean, I wouldn't be anywhere without the leverage of my team. We have like social media staff that's just fantastic. They're so great with all of this. So they're really the brains behind the project. But we were doing a long form video on the Milk District in downtown Orlando. It's a little pocket neighborhood. That's something that we're focusing on our team, is being really hyper local rather than just kind of big picture Orlando. Let's go nitty gritty. Let's talk about specific neighborhood pockets and really get people excited about these particular neighborhoods, and just be like an expert in the area, right? And so with the Milk District, there was an event that I knew of called the Milk Mart, which is a quarterly outdoor farmers market where a bunch of local businesses come together, restaurants, and it's just a really great time. Hundreds of people come to this, and I thought this would be great for a video. So how do I construct a nice long form content for YouTube featuring this event, as well as some new construction in the area, some of the more older style homes, and then some retail, commercial. So I had this kind of generic outline I wanted to work with. I put all of that into ChatGPT, and it helped me come up with like the storyboard order of how I should conduct that video. And then I worked with it to come up with some of the scripting. It's still, like I said, very robotic in a lot of the way that it sounds. So you have to be careful so you don't sound like, you're speaking a script from ChatGPT. But it was really helpful in kind of helping me come up with a whole storyboard of it and where we should start and where we should end, where that middle section should be. Some really great interview questions, because you did like a ask the audience type of thing as we were walking around the crowd. Like, what do you love about the Milk District? How would you describe the culture of this community? Some really impactful questions. So it was helpful. It was so great. I mean, I think I did the storyboard in about an hour and a half working with ChatGPT, and then my own area knowledge that I have about the community. So I think, you need both, but it's just a really great tool. It's really, really fun.
Yeah, I've been using it. We have a couple of consulting clients in BAMX for something similar where I had this guy make a list of events that were happening in Chicago and send me the articles like this is a barbecue rib event that's happening. And I just pulled up one of the articles, copy pasted the article and said, write me a 30-second video script for a real estate agent with a powerful hook, a call to action that doesn't address the fact that he's a real estate agent, but maybe brings in some kind of market knowledge in the area. Spits it out perfectly. And like you said, you do have to make the personal adjustments, but like your starting off point now for video scripts, if you're watching this, is so much easier today than it was 6 months ago. I mean, right, Jason? It's just like
the ideas, the scripts, the outlines, whatever you need, it's all done for you, right? And so like the whole saying of like, you're not going to get replaced by AI, but you're going to get replaced by someone who's using AI is kind of like in play here, because like in the past, so one way of thinking is like AI is going to come in and just replace us and just shoot all the videos for us, and everything we see is going to be AI. I actually think it's just going to allow us to shoot 20 times the amount of videos that we used to take, right? So like instead of losing your job to AI, it's actually just going to expand your output. So instead of putting out 5 videos, you're going to put out 10 or 20 or 30, because now you just have everything done for you. All you have to do is type the script into ChatGPT, modify it a little bit, put it into a teleprompter app or Big View on your phone, and then just read it. And so now like it took away probably 80% of the job. All you got to do is turn the camera on and talk into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to increase everybody's output as opposed to doing away with your job, so to speak.
Yeah. Or be crazy like me and memorize it like a script.
or memorize your scripts.
Teleprompter sounds like a better idea. I should take some advice from you guys, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's a tool, right? And those who are using the tools of the trade are going to excel a lot faster, because you're right. Yeah, it only took me an hour to write that storyboard. So now I have time to write 3 or 4 more for some other pocket communities that we have. And now we've got content. Instead of, 1 video a month, we can do 2 to 3 a month. And it just puts us in front of more people, gets us to talk about more areas. And if real estate agents aren't using this, like, what are you doing? Right?
Exactly.
Jason, there's a little inspiration for you to start doing some long form YouTube videos, huh?
We didn't need to steer down this road.
I mean, look, but what's the line that you just said about you're not going to get replaced, but you will get replaced by people who are using it? Everybody's saying we should throw that on a t-shirt or something like that. That's kind of like, that's like the phrase that every guru marketer is saying. Can you say it one more time?
You're not going to get replaced by AI, but you'll get replaced by someone using AI.
All right. Let us know if you want a BAM t-shirt that says that. That would sell no copies, actually.
Is that the new marry the house, date the rate? Like the one that like the phrase that everybody's saying for the next year?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, that's great. Let us know in the comments how you're using ChatGPT. Kristen's using it for long form video scripts, short form video scripts, and is absolutely pumping out more amazing content from it. Speaking of amazing content, Kristen, so you pop up on my page with a just listed post. And very rarely are real estate agents popping up on people's pages with just listed posts, because most just listed posts, as we know, suck, right? They're just kind of generic Canva templates, or they're just, showing the features of the house, 2-bedroom, $500,000 in this area. And it's a boring carousel, still necessary to post because of course you're going to have to promote your listing and your seller wants to see that you're doing it on social media. But what you guys are doing at the Pozek team, what you're doing specifically on your page is a completely new style of listing posts that is absolutely crushing on social that actually captures attention. It doesn't even really look like a real estate post. So if we could pull up one of these and show the audience. So if you're on Spotify, head over to YouTube right now to look at this. But Kristen, if you could kind of give us the philosophy behind this. It says hilltop home loaded with upgrades in Manila. It looks like a news headline, right? Is
Yeah.
that kind of the idea for this?
Yeah, so once again, I always have to give props to my team and Ken Pozek, right? He's the mastermind behind all of this. Like our mantra that we have now is that we're actually a media company that happens to sell real estate, right? And so what does a media company do? They bring you timely news and development that's happening in the area of interest. And so rather than just listed, which yes, we want to encourage posting, right? We want to encourage people being active on social media. And so I never want to like poo poo on people's posts and say like, nobody wants to see that. But how can you stand out in a sea of just listed posts and make it so that your client's home and your content is actually interesting and being seen? And that's telling a story, right? What does just listed tell us? Okay, you're a real estate agent, you're doing work. That's it. It doesn't really highlight the home. It doesn't really highlight the area. It's not really exciting to look at. Maybe if you're a big fan of that particular real estate agent, your mom, your friend, your cousin, like they might want to see that you just listed a home. But how are you going to actually capture organic audience outside of that? And so that's what we came up with. It's a news post about a home. It's a hilltop home in Mineola. Is so much more exciting than just listed. Right?
Yes.
Mid-century modern home in downtown Orlando. That's so much more exciting and interesting than just listed, right? And so that's kind of the direction that we were going. We wanted to tell a story. We wanted to engage outside of just our sphere and the people that are, obviously supportive of us, and capture an audience on a wider level. And we found these news articles to be just very engaging. They're really pretty to look at too. I mean, we're cherry picking some of our prettier houses, obviously, with this content. But I don't know. I just think that it's so much more interesting to look at. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
I mean, absolutely. That's why we're having an entire show around it. That's why I did a post about it. It's 100%. So again, head over to YouTube right now to look at this. Haley, let's pull up another one of these. What I love too about these is you're calling out whatever feature of the house. Like you said, you're telling a story of the house with the news headline. So it's like what we always talk about, Jason, with listing video hooks. Instead of saying, "Hi, I'm Kristen Pavlic. Welcome to my 2-bedroom, 3-bath in Orlando," you're talking about the main feature first as the hook, and that gets people interested. So go back to the beginning of this one. It says mid-century modern home blocks from Lake Eola.
Yeah.
And
So,
then, yeah,
it's
go
it's
ahead.
like, oh wow, a gorgeous mid-century home blocks from one of the biggest lakes in downtown Orlando, or the most, popular lakes in downtown Orlando. It's so cool. And then you can scroll through it and see more, and we highlight like the features of it that we think are the most interesting. But I think it creates a little bit longer. I don't think we know from tracking that it creates longer engagement on these posts because people are hooked by that first image, and then they scroll through maybe one or two of the slides. And we've actually gotten actual clients from this as well. We had not on my page, but one of my agent partners' pages. We even did one on a price reduction. $40,000 off of this gorgeous home by lake, right? And so it was another one of those news posts, and it actually got a couple buyers to come back and be re-engaged, and now we're pursuing this home. So not only is this just great content, it is actually turning into real dollars, and that's the name of the game, right? For real estate.
No, I always thought it was just for
That
complete
Just
engagement.
for vanity.
you're
We
that's
just
Yeah,
absolutely the name of the game. Good job. It's one thing that you guys are doing on this that you need to that's crushing is that it's straight out of Conversion Code by Chris Smith. Is when you put these posts on, you don't put any disqualifying information. So you notice the price isn't on there, the address isn't on there, things like that. So it engages people to have to like DM or ask for the price because they can't go look it up on Zillow themselves, or they can't. So it encourages the engagement by not disqualifying based on price. If you put that the price was $750,000, then anybody who's looking up to 500 would just skip right through it. But now they're going to look at it and then they're going to ask about the price. And then even if it doesn't work for them, now you've got their contact information.
Yes, just enough information to get them engaged, right? And then capture their info and stalk them.
exactly. And
That's
look at
good.
the last. If you could pull it up again one more time, there is the last slide of these just listed. It's a call to action where I think it says DM or comment, and then your first line of the caption says comment charming for more information.
Mm-hmm.
So you are driving this with a mini chat DM automation. I'm always curious because I don't know. I'm not an active real estate agent. What are you sending them? So if someone comments the word charming, which I love I love using that word too because it's like another descriptor of the house. You're not saying, DM me the word house. It's something about the actual house. a good feature of it. When they comment charming, what do you send them?
Yeah, it's actually a link to our website at the Orlando
Okay.
Reel. And so that prompts them to put in their information. So then we get them transferred into our ISA department, and then we match make them out to an agent partner that best fits their area, their price point, and their criteria. So it's quick. They comment it, it's a DM that automatically comes to them with a link. They click on that. Then it does ask for that lead capture portion. And then our ISA gets to love on them and hand them out to us, the agents. It's pretty
Love
freaking
it.
cool.
It is. Well, I also like how you said for a price reduction, it also makes it look like a news headline, like $40,000 off this house. How much better is that than saying price reduced or price
Yeah.
reduction?
Yeah.
Because you're then calling attention to the fact that this place didn't sell, but $40,000 off, that's such a brilliant way to format it. Um, I have a bunch more content from you that I thought was really good. This is actually a unique way to interview a restaurant owner. And Jason knows my thoughts on interviewing restaurant owners, but I think you pulled this off phenomenally.
I'm about to get served ice cream by the Kelly of Kelly's Ice Cream.
Yay! Thank you so much, Kelly.
You're the Kelly.
I am the Kelly.
You're a local celebrity.
Thank you so much.
Tell us about the business.
My husband and I started it about 12 years ago in our home. Funny story, this location, I was running the OUC Half Marathon in like 2012 and ran past it. And I was like, that'd be a cute spot for an ice cream shop, and really kind of got my wheels spinning. Did a tent setup on Baldwin, and then a food truck, and then food truck to brick and mortar. The next year we'll be celebrating our official 10-year anniversary.
What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
My favorite is chocolate peanut butter brownie. I'm a chocolate peanut butter girl. I think local businesses in the community are just they're the backbone of the community. They're where people go, they hang out. And I think just all of the small businesses create those little pockets in the Orlando area for such a great neighborhood and community.
So what I loved about that was different than your usual, hey, I'm here with this restaurant owner, or hey, I'm here with this business owner. You start with a shot of the actual ice cream. And that's an immediate hook in itself, because it's like, oh my God, this person's about to get ice cream. And then it's kind of a back and forth interview where you're still showing the shop and everything. So I just think it's a really good way to do it. What's kind of the thought process behind doing those? Like, who do you decide to do those
Yeah.
with, and how do you film those videos?
So that is actually a short form clip that we pulled from one of those long form neighborhood videos that we did. So the strategy for the long form content on the YouTube channel, like I said, is to get very neighborhood centric and specific. So this is South Downtown Orlando, or SoDo is what we call it. And so the structure of that video was very much, I like to include a couple of community centered businesses because I think it makes it more shareable. And that's what we want. We want it to be shareable. We want it to be something that not just organically our followers are going to look at, but the business owners are going to share, and their friends and family are going to share, and it's going to get out into the community so that we can farm a community, right? That's the overall goal, essentially, is to farm these neighborhoods that we're trying to feature. And so this long form, it featured homes, it featured local businesses, and then the Main Street district. Again, like I said, with the Milk District, we had that event that we were going to, the Milk Mart. So it's kind of like we're doing a little bit of that for each community. And so my team is a genius. And they actually, while we were working together, and I leveraged ChatGPT for this as well, how do we kill two birds with one stone, essentially, and get the long form to produce us some short form that we can also leverage while we're out here filming. And so that was this was, hey, we're definitely going to use this for a short form piece, because Kelly, she's actually kind of a celebrity in our area. So it was actually really lucky that she was willing to have an interview with us. And so we were like, we definitely need to cut this up and do it for Instagram as well, because we think it's going to be really impactful and shareable, and then drive people back to the long form, back to our content for the farming portion of this. And so honestly, that was on my videographer. He's a phenomenal editor. So he was the one who was helping guide me to intentionally, while we were filming the long form, to say, hey, this is going to be a great short form piece. Let's do an intro and outro for this. And so that's why we kind of featured the ice cream first, to really get that hook there, because it's so much more interesting than people don't know Kelly by her face, but they know Kelly by her ice cream. So we hooked with the ice cream and then brought in Kelly, and then had the logo and all of that stuff. So, it's like just being really efficient with the content, really.
My God, does Kristen's content stand out from the crowd? And if you are also looking to stand out from the crowd, Reminder Media is a resource you have to check out. You get your own branded print and digital magazines, email newsletters, and social media content. Reminder delivers these resources to your contacts on autopilot, keeping you top of mind with your database. All you got to do is focus on your follow-up calls and watch referrals and repeat business come in. Use the link below to check out Reminder Media. Very smart. You know those little tweaks are the huge differentiating factor between getting, hundreds of likes and 10, 20, 30 likes. Like if you just show, hey, I'm here with Kelly, and it's just not going to do well, but you hook it in with the ice cream, it's just so much better.
Especially the medium. So we talked about this a lot, Kristen. So that's why he made the joke in the beginning about how people do like restaurant interviews badly. And so, but the thing is on YouTube long form, it actually does. There is a way that can work because you're farming a specific area. Your whole YouTube channel is about that specific area. So like someone who's researching the area for relocation might watch a long form content about one of the popular neighborhoods. But to bring it over to Instagram gets really tough because like on Instagram, people follow you for you. And so like they may not care about that if they're not, if I'm an agent in Boise and I follow you, I don't care about the ice cream shop on Instagram, but I'm not your target audience for that. So it gets really tough because sometimes people spend too much time talking to the person or going into the background or like interviewing or like showcasing the food. And it's like, look, I'm here to learn about the neighborhood. I don't care about the meat you put in the burger, right? So like these can be done wrong so much, but you did a really great job by bringing the long form over and cutting it like quick clips with the upbeat music, showing the ice cream, the Kelly, like you just did a really good job bringing it over. And so that's why I think he was teasing initially, but you did a good job of it. And it does, we've actually established that these do work on long form on YouTube if they're done right.
Yeah.
I was on the Overask podcast, and Matt Leonetti and I went on a rant about interviewing restaurant owners. And Jason's correct. If you do it on Instagram and it's a 4-minute video and it's just a boring thing about someone's background and no one knows who this person is, that does suck. This does not. This is not.
There's a few that we've seen. Kyle Whistle does East County Eats. He crushes with it. Like there's been 3 or 4 that we've seen now, but they're all on YouTube, like for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. And the name of this is just, again, to be efficient, right? So if we're out there doing this, spending 4 or 5 hours filming a long form video, if we can cut it up and get some really good short form content to pull people in different directions, then that's what we're going to do. And again, our videographer is fantastic. Like he's the one who comes up with all these really cool shots. And then, just knowing, like, again, the mindset behind it. People don't necessarily recognize Kelly, but they'll recognize her ice cream, right? And so leading with that so that it gets people hooked and like, oh my gosh, I love this ice cream place. It's a local shop right in the center of the neighborhood. It's always popping. So that's why we figured that it would do well. And it did. And it was really cool to see. She shared it. They have a social media as well. They have an Instagram. They shared it there. So that shareability, I think, is really beneficial too. That's something that we're always thinking about. Is this shareable? Is this saved? Like, will people save this, right? Do I want to go visit Kelly's now? Should I save this so I can go to this cute little, ice cream shop in this neighborhood that I was interested in? So it's like the mindset, right? We're telling that story and trying to get in the mindset of somebody who would be watching our content. Do you like your own content, right? That's the biggest question. Would you watch it?
Eric, do you like your own content?
Sometimes, yeah, but Kristen, I said that, I don't know if I said that in Fresno. Jason and I just spoke at an event last week, but I've been saying that exact same thing where, yeah, do you like your own stuff? Would you follow you? Would you share your own stuff, or would you be bored by it? That's an amazing litmus test. Litmus test for that. And also, Kristen, how you said that you were cognizant while filming that video to film a specific intro and outro for short form. Mm-hmm. So having that in the back of your head, hey, I'm doing a 5-minute YouTube video today, but I just need to have a hook for an intro, for a reel, and an outro. Mm-hmm. Absolutely helps. All right. News, clips, and listing videos. So one of these, I couldn't really tell. It's like a podcast clip of you. And I wanted to just talk about like the process of this, because it's kind of like a news post about the neighborhood, but then you're also including a new listing or new development. I was wondering, is this actually your listing, or is this just general real estate news? So let's play the clip and then we can break it down.
Church turned townhome hits market. This is kind of cool.
This is so cool. And this is what I love about downtown Orlando. This was a church.
This was a church.
And they turned it into luxury townhomes, and they kept a lot of the original architecture. The exterior still very much looks like a church. It's right in downtown. It's right next to Eola Heights. So literally one street away from Lake Eola.
Currently asking 1.695.
Which to me, honestly, does not sound like a large number for that area.
Yeah.
I recognize that's wild money.
The Pentecostal church was built in 1928.
1920. This is like my dream. I love these things.
So you live in an old church.
How cool is that? That's so cool and unique.
No, it is really unique, for sure.
Is that one of your listings, or is that a podcast about what's going on in the market?
Yeah, so that is Ken's YouTube channel's weekly live. And he
Okay.
has some of us guest star on it. So I get the privilege of getting to guest star, and then we'll cut up some of the clips to do this type of content, right? It's news. And so that was not one of our listings. However, we love this kind of stuff and we want these to be our listings in the future. So if we're the ones talking about it, even if it's not our listing, what are people going to think the next time, a homeowner who has one of these, who are they going to reach out to list it if they know that, we get that kind of range, we're talking about it, we're familiar with this kind of product, or will a buyer reach out to us if they're curious because we're the expert on it, right? So it doesn't always have to be your listing in order to get attention, from something, or in order to farm an area. This is just so cool because downtown Orlando does have some of these really niche, like, architectural things like this. We got a lot of 1920s homes, 1950s. And so this we thought just would be a really cool talking piece, and also a little polarizing. And if you know the internet, sometimes being a little polarizing is good for the algorithm. So we knew this was going to be either people loved this or they absolutely hated it, right? And so if you go through the comments, you can actually see that happening. So it's literally by design exactly what happened. But more so, we just like to focus on these topics. And funnily enough, literally, I think it was like a couple weeks later, somebody reached out to Ken directly to work on a project. I think this developer actually reached out to Ken directly and said, "Hey, I saw that. I've got more projects. They're coming soon. Would you guys like to be the first to see them and potentially list them?" So all of this stuff creates more opportunity, but it's formatted more so just as news to our followers, to our database, to share these things that are happening that they may not even know about, with the goal of building community and building that audience, and then also ultimately it turning into more business for us. So yeah, it wasn't our listing, but it's cool, right?
Yeah, it's really cool. I love the idea of potentially doing that for your own listings where it's almost like a TMZ style. Like, did you guys see this new 3-bedroom that just came on in
Mhm.
Manhattan Beach? This is unbelievable. The listing agent's a genius, and you should absolutely go check. He's having an open house this Sunday. This is absolutely crazy. So it's like a
That's
back and forth. Do you like
Yeah.
that style, Jason, or do you
Yeah,
hate
for sure. I
it?
mean, this is straight out of Barstool. You've
Yeah.
seen Dave Portnoy does the podcast thing with Josh Richards and the other girl, I forgot her name, Brianna. And then they'll film it and they'll get 2 or 3 short form clips out of it of just them talking about whatever it is they're talking about. And then the editor takes it from there. So your editor did a really good job by keeping the short kind of the interchanges between you and Ken. And then there was one where there was like a little bubble of you like laughing next to Ken. So like the
1920s.
short form editing is what made that work for Instagram, I think. Because if they had just recorded you two talking, maybe on the top and bottom, just back, it wouldn't have hit as well. So like it was it was edited very well. But that being said, yeah, this kind of like listening in on a podcast cut up with the pictures of the church underneath. Very, I don't want to say like Gen Z marketing, very, very on brand marketing. This is a perfect example of media company that happens to sell real estate first.
It really is. It's all news. Like, it's all just so shareable. You don't feel these are 2 real estate agents having a conversation with the intention to get business from it. It's 2 real estate agents breaking news to you, giving you information. And then at the end, if you read the caption, oh, these are real estate agents. I want to reach out to these people. I like their personalities. I like the sort of content they produce. Here's another brilliant listing video called Guess the Price.
You'll never guess what this house is listed for. But before you do guess, let's go inside.
Tell my boyfriend what I've been doing. Been thinking of you. Hey, tell my screw him. And if you want me, you gotta put the word in. Go tell your girlfriend that I'm your girlfriend. I'ma play the back end for the meantime. Took a break, got to focus on some me time. We can keep it low key for the meantime. Had the grip so tight from the inside. Got you running back to back in 3 times. Now I'm kissing on your neck, that's a sweet spot. But if we freaking, I need you to say it.
So what did you think? If you guessed 1.5 million, you were right. DM us if you want any more information on this home or any other in the Central Florida area.
Talk about the retention, right? Like how important it is to have someone watch the entire video. This is like an amazing hack to do that because you're saying to the end, you got to know this. I mean, the audience has to know what the price is because
Yeah.
you got to watch the end of that video. So that's a really good strategy.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a rage bait too, right? Because it started
Yeah,
with like a higher price
for
point, and
sure.
then it like kind of went around. And again, props to my team. This idea actually was and that was one of our listings that we had. So this was like we're always trying to come up with different interesting ways to market our listings that don't just fall under that traditional, like again, just listed kind of umbrella. We want it to be a little bit more engaging, a little more interesting and shareable. So this idea actually came from a video that we did before that, and it's actually pinned to the top of my Instagram page, where it's how close can you live to Walt Disney World without having to spend millions of dollars. Then I hop in my car and the timer goes over my head, and you can see how quickly I can get to the gates of Walt Disney World from this area. And because that video had such great retention, and my team's idea to put that timer up on there kind of spurred, like, how else could we do that? Is there other ways that we could have like a number at the top of the screen that's going to keep that retention for people, who will keep watching because they want to know the answer, right? And so that's when we were like, guess the price. That'd be a really good one. So it's just like one idea kind of spun into another to keep that retention going and just be a little bit different.
All right, quick break here from this amazing episode because I got to put you onto something that's actually helping agents dominate online like Kristen. If you haven't heard of it, this is the platform that gives real estate agents a free profile, boosts your visibility on Google search and maps, and it is called experience.com. We're talking 93% of users showing up on the first page of Google. From one dashboard, you can manage your entire online presence, collect and showcase reviews, track customer sentiment, and even share client feedback straight to social. And did I mention that it is gamified, like Kristen just mentioned about gamifying your content, because reputation management is way more fun when there's a scoreboard. So if you want to show up higher, look better online, and actually control your digital reputation, hit the link in the description to claim your free profile now. Yeah,
So
absolutely. And go ahead, Jason.
I have, you don't see this, but I have notes here, and this is from
Oh,
before.
damn.
This is from before the call. I was taking notes as I was going through, and I said, "Love the time lapse video to show how close you are to Disney. Keeps the clients engaged because we want to see the clock." And so that same exact thing. So I think back. I was just looking while that was going on my TikTok. And this was from 2021. So 4 years ago, I had a "Can you guess the price?" Because I had seen that kind of start on TikTok, where what they would do is they would have the words pop up and be like, "Can you guess the price?" And then at the end would be the price. And so you had to stay on for 8 seconds or 10 seconds to see the price. That is just a modern, much better version of these "Can you guess the prices?" Because everybody wants to see the house, but they want to also guess the price, see if they were right, see if they were wrong. The rage bait, like you talked about, anything where you can kind of hack or elicit longer engagement is going to be better in these cases.
Yeah, I think gamifying it, right? Isn't that kind of like the terminology? It's like a game that you're playing with your audience or your viewership. Like,
Yep.
do you want to know the answer? Did you guess? Right. So it's just a little bit more, it's fun. I love it. I love that kind of stuff.
Kristen, what Jason's trying to say is he came up with this idea
2020.
That was
Can you guess the
My
price?
saw that video and we were like,
That's what it
Jason's
was.
on to something. So
I think we want credit where credit is due. Pozek team. Just kidding. Yours is much better than mine.
Kristen, we covered that video of you getting in the car on the walkthrough. I want to say 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, because we thought that video was so amazing. So I actually have another neighborhood video that, instead of kind of talking about the house, which I think is a really good strategy, maybe if the house isn't that amazing, or maybe this house was amazing, but really featuring the neighborhood and how walkable it is to everything. So let's throw that up there as well.
I may have just found the most perfectly located neighborhood in Orlando. Check this out. Everything is less than 30 minutes away from my new listing. Where are we? South Chase, a cozy residential pocket right by the turnpike and just north of Hunters Creek and Meadowwoods. And the home itself? A 3-bedroom, 2-bath pool home priced just under $420,000. If this is the home for you, comment Orlando down below. Whoa, just kidding.
you gotta put your personality in there somewhere, guys.
Was that a fake fall, or was that
that was a fake fall because one shot before that I actually almost did fall, and then my videographer was like, "What if you actually?" And I was like, "I'm not falling in the pool, guys." Joke's on me. Yeah. I just did a reel for another house where I am in a pool, so it finally happened.
At some point in their lives, a real estate agent selling a house with a pool gets in the pool, and if you haven't done that yet,
rite of passage.
It really is. But what's so good, again, is you're listing the features of the neighborhood, how close it is, the proximity. And you go like this, and it pops it up, 25 minutes from this, 30 minutes to this. So you have that visual. I also like how you said you do add your personality in it. You hung there a little bit long and then the stuff was gone and then you just kind of awkwardly laugh afterwards. So it's not completely polished. You still kind of see, okay, this is a human doing this that isn't just this amazing video creator too. And I think that flavor makes it that much better. It's really good.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Again, my team is so awesome. Like the leverage that I have, it takes a village truly to come up with all these ideas and the editing and the things like that. But yeah, when a home isn't particularly beautiful, and not even when a home isn't particularly beautiful. Of course, if a home is beautiful, you do want to feature it. But I think these videos are much more shareable and reusable when you focus on a location, right? Because if you focus too much on a house, once that house sells, it's almost like that content becomes, not usable anymore. But we love to use some of this for Facebook ads and things like that, and pushing the content out a little bit more. And so if they're more neighborhood centric, then we can reuse them even when the home is sold. And so I think that's the strategy behind a little bit more of our content, is trying to be more focused on the actual specific neighborhoods, what's around them, what are you getting by like the lifestyle of it all, with a little bit of the house sprinkled in.
And what a broader umbrella or fishnet that you're throwing out there when you're talking about a neighborhood. If you're just talking about that house and it's not in your parameters of price or bedroom bath count, now you're calling attention. Oh, this is the best neighborhood in Orlando, this hidden gem. Let me watch this video and get information about the neighborhood before the house.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I mean, Jason, banger after banger here, right?
Shout out to the videographer and the editor again. That was
Yeah.
another one where it was just like you said, like the little breaking the fourth wall laughing, and then the whoa, like just, but then like even the editing on what they were doing with like the text was a little bit different. Like the title, like card with the address or whatever, I think it was, or whatever it says, priced under 450,000. All of that was just modern and cool and what you'd expect from like a new age Instagram story.
Yeah.
Throw this video like if you're getting any value out of this. Kristen is just delivering so much good content for us. Go follow her page. What's your at, Kristen?
At Kristen Sells Orlando.
At Kristen Sells Orlando. Go follow it for content inspiration. I have two more things that I want to quickly get through. One is a video from Gary Vee. So Haley, it's the first video. And I just wanted to play this for everybody that's listening and for the panel here, because it'll give you a little bit motivation about the direction of social media.
I would say that social media as we knew it is no longer here. I think we're in the era of interest media. The algorithms now work that content that you're interested in comes to you, not necessarily who you decided to follow. All my followers that I've amassed for 15 years are becoming less important. People that are watching right now that have never posted, if they post a remarkably good piece of content, that piece of content now has the ability to get more views than something I post, and I'm one of the most followed people on LinkedIn in the world. I actually believe the word social media might have to get tweaked. I believe we are now in the interest media era. Not social media, but interest media. Meaning social was inherently like, who is your social network? Who are your friends? We are now in an era where what are you interested is coming to you from the algorithm. That is profound.
And what better way to do that with news? Jason, thoughts on this? Do you agree with Father V?
Yeah, we've always talked, or I've always considered TikTok and YouTube to be interest media, and then Facebook and Instagram was like social media, because you followed people and your friends and stuff like that on Facebook and Instagram, whereas on TikTok and YouTube, you could follow and subscribe, but for the most part, you were fed what you searched for or what TikTok knew you liked. Well, Instagram has basically copied TikTok now with the way that the reels work and the feed works. So like, yes, you do see your followers first from time to time, but only like 10 or 12% or something like that. For the most part, you're being fed what you want or what you've shown interest in. So now I almost put that over to the interest media bucket, and leaving Facebook as like the only social media, Facebook and LinkedIn maybe. And even they're working towards feeding you what you want through reels and stuff like that. So I like the things we consume, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, are all interest-based now at this point. So he's right.
Kristen, thoughts? Do you agree with
Yeah,
Jason?
I mean, it's so powerful how I feel like TikTok changed the game for the algorithm. And I mean, I'm sure you joke about it. I joke about it all the time. I'm like, wow, man, TikTok gets me, right? Like, or Instagram gets me. It's like putting this content and I'm like, how does it know? And it's because I'm watching it, right? And so that's what we are trying to recreate with our content, is to obviously track what's working and what's not working, but really just like build that database of people who are interested in in learning more about the area that we serve. So what's going on in Central Florida, and not just look at these new houses. It's what infrastructure is coming. There's new roads coming. There's this new complex that's happening. This new restaurant opened. Epic Universe, a brand new theme park just opened. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that people are so interested in, and we see that works. And so we just follow that gravy train, if you will. And now we're even working on the back end of like tracking that. So if somebody's very click heavy on Claremont, for example, then we're going to push the Claremont content over to them to keep them re-engaged. And so, yeah, I think it's really changed the game. It's no longer social media. Like how many people in your life do you not even know anything about because their content never pops up on your page, but they're people that you genuinely care about. It's not in your algorithm, right? Or how many times have you bought a pair of shoes and now all of a sudden every single video that comes up or content comes up is shoe related. So it is what you're interested in is what you're going to see. And so I guess we can't blame anybody for our algorithm but ourselves anymore, huh?
Very true.
Eric, have you seen Social? I think it's called Social Dilemma. It's on Netflix, right? And it's like the documentary type thing about how the algorithm learns like what you do, kind of. It's wild, right? Because it's like I think they showed the POV of like someone inside your phone, like looking at your face, and they're like, okay, what are they doing now? They're scrolling. Oh, they stopped. They scrolled back for a second. They must like this. So like they know without even us liking, sharing, saving, they can watch our eye gaze. Did our thumb stop for an extra 2 seconds on that post? They must, that what piqued their attention. It's wild. So like that's how they know us better than we even know ourselves, because you don't even have to like share and subscribe stuff anymore. Yeah.
That's why I don't, was Neil Dinger talking about this? Maybe it was Gary Vee again, or some podcast I was listening to about social media marketing, saying that comments now, like you'll notice comments are down a lot across the board. Shares are up because people are sharing content, whether it's to their stories, through DMs, or mostly in text conversations. Like that's how I share most reels. Is I see something funny, I'm going to share it with my wife. I'm going to just link it, share the DM right there. Right? Like it's not, I would never tag her. It's psychotic almost for some reason. It's not psychotic, but it's like, it gets lost in the sauce, right? Like if you get a notification, you don't really, I don't know, look at your tags that much, I don't think. So as Jason just said, if you spend time on a post, Instagram sees that as a metric. So if it's a carousel post or they're watching one of Kristen's videos for a minute because she has that cheat code hook on it, that's indicating to Instagram more than anything else that they want to see that content again, because people hate watch stuff too, right? So if there's someone that is like your rival or whatever, and you're always looking at their stories or content, Instagram knows to feed that to you, even though you're not engaging with it. So you got to keep their attention. And Kristen, you made such a good point too about how you said if people are interested in a particular neighborhood, I forgot the neighborhood you mentioned, but you take that as a data point and say, okay, I want to make more content about this because this is actually getting more clicks and more views. But this is all super motivating, in my opinion, if you're a content creator listening to this, that you don't have to build a huge following anymore to get your content seen. The old game is what we did in 2018 through 2022, basically. Build a huge following. Now I could get 10,000 views. Now you could have 50 followers and get 100,000 views, just like I could have 500,000 and get 50 views. It's all about the merit of the content, and that should be super exciting for everybody, I think.
Yeah.
Sucks for me,
except for the people who built the big following.
Exactly. Well, it's still about obviously it's better to have a bigger following because you're at least sending it to those people at the beginning. Like Instagram will test it with some of your followers, but it doesn't really matter. Kristen, it's
nice to not have to, keep a close eye on that follower count, because that used to be the name of the game. It's like, oh man, if I can just get like 500 more followers or 200 more followers, and now it's, you could have less than 10 and still have great productivity from your content and still get real clients from that, real relationships. So, I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's a good thing, the way that the algorithm is working now for people, so that we can just show up more authentically. And if your content's not good, it's not good. Right? Like that's it. That's it.
I would almost rather have a post that racks up 500 emails but I only have 500 followers than having 50,000 followers and all your content does nothing, because that vanity metric means nothing now unless you're talking to a seller that may not understand that. You're like, hey, I have 50,000 followers. No, it's, hey, look at this video. I got 500 comments on it. I got 5,000 shares. This was seen by 1.2 million people. Compare that to someone who's like, hey, I bought 50,000 followers. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's massive.
Pretty cool.
Facts.
That's an episode right there. Kristen, this was amazing, amazing information. Go follow Kristen Sells Orlando right now. See what the Pozek team is doing. See what she's doing for all sorts of short form and long form content. And if you want access to templates like that she is using on her page, we have those in BAMX too. So if you want a free trial of that, check the link down in the description. We have those news headlines and those templates for you. Kristen, any final words of wisdom? Anything you want to say to the crowd? There's going to be 40,000 people watching this episode.
Oh my,
So,
wow, that's a lot of people. I
yeah.
think just show up, be authentic, and be consistent, right? I think social media is such a scary, daunting thing. And I feel like I'm a little privileged sitting here because I have this fantastic team behind me that does like my editing and things like that. But I didn't always have that. And we all have to start somewhere. And so just like be authentic, share what you think is interesting and make content for your clients. Don't make content for other realtors, except for you guys. Like, you guys are making content for realtors, but the rest of us, make content for your people, and not, just, the next like funny, trendy thing for realtors. I think that we can all fall into that trap very easily. But yeah, just show up, be yourself and be consistent. That's my advice, and have an awesome team.
Stop saying Ken. Just say that the video team and the social media team. Ken doesn't need any bigger of a head. He's all right.
No.
Shout out to
Enough
your
with Ken
editors and
Pozek.
your video.
They're so good, but yeah, they're fantastic people, and surround yourself with great people.
I would like to put a moratorium on Ken Pozek's name
Yeah.
in all real estate content for the next year.
Yeah.
Nobody could mention Ken as the hyper-local guy.
Can't
No one
talk
can mention
about
the
him.
Pozek
You're
team.
off.
You can't mention him. If you do, you're banned.
You can't sit with us, Ken.
Exactly.
Tariff Ken Pozek.
Tariff Ken Pozek. All right, Kristen, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week
Thank you
on
for having me.
The Walkthrough.